last week. There hasn't been too much rain across the country. However, in New South Wales, thunderstorms really ramped up on Wednesday afternoon and evening, particularly for the central ranges, where we saw some pretty heavy rainfall. We had a little bit of hail around as well, but the lightning strikes were phenomenal. As much as 1,200 lightning strikes per minute were recorded during Wednesday early evening, and rain fell up to 18 millimetres in just 10 minutes at Nullo Mountain. So we had some pretty substantial falls. We'll have a couple more days with thunderstorms in New South Wales, but the focus well and truly is shifting to the north in terms of rainfall. Heavy falls for Queensland. That's the focus. We're seeing a tropical low deepening with heavy monsoon rain up through northern parts of Queensland. Where this low does track, though, there's a fair bit of uncertainty. So it's beginning up through the Gulf and tracking in a southerly direction, but where it moves, does it stay over the inland, does it stay close to Queensland? There's a fair bit of uncertainty, but regardless, it's going to be drawing in tropical moisture in from the northeast, from the Coral Sea, right across tropical parts of Queensland, with heavy falls expected. Some places will be seeing 100 to 150 millimetres in just a 6-hour period. And you can see across Thursday, we'll see some heavy falls up through the far north, but then into Friday, it ramps up, as you can see, through the tropical parts of Queensland, particularly for the Cape York Peninsula, but it's going to start to push into the North Tropical Coast, particularly the north of that region. And then day in, day out, it just drifts further south with heavy falls expected. We'll see just the odd shower and thunderstorm on Saturday, but into Sunday, it'll pick up a little bit through central parts of South Australia, just mostly some dry lightning thunderstorms there, but for southeastern parts of New South Wales, some places will be picking up 5 to 10 millimetres, and that lingering on into Monday with heavy falls up through the north. But let's have a look at how it wraps up for the week. Really substantial falls in the Queensland tropics in particular. A few decent totals down through the southeast, but up through the Queensland tropics, let's have a look at some of those totals. This black shading here is indicating totals above 400 millimetres. So it's a very wet week for the North Tropical Coast and tablelands, and therefore a flood watch is in place. That's for the Cape York Peninsula, the Eastern Gulf, and the North Tropical Coast.
Dangerous fire weather today in South Australia and tomorrow in Tasmania, Victoria, and parts of New South Wales. Before we get to the forecast, I want to show you the type of conditions that the Tasmania Fire Service is dealing with. Now, this is a remote area, the Celtic River Fire in southwest Tasmania, and these are the conditions that they have to deal with here. Look at all the vast amounts of smoke. Difficult to spot where the fire is regardless of that, but the amount of local effects that you get with the mountain breezes and the wind changes that come through, and aside of the fact that it's very difficult for anyone on foot to access this type of terrain without actually being airdropped there. It's largely relied on air support to fight these type of fires, and they can go quite large in wilderness areas like this. Now today we have very hot conditions across South Australia. You can see that shading here, and 40-degree heat as well across parts of Victoria. Today we have extreme fire dangers and severe fire dangers in South Australia. In extreme fire danger, fires can become unpredictable, uncontrollable, and fast-moving. You need to know what you're going to be doing in the event of a major bushfire near you. And then into Friday, total fire bans enforced across all of Tasmania. Really from today and into Monday we have those total fire bans, but we have dangerous fire weather in Tasmania on Friday, severe to very high fire danger, as we see temperatures between 35 to 40 degrees in Tasmania, and also between 40 to 45 degrees in parts of Victoria. With a dry westerly change in the afternoon, this is bad news for fireys. This is a bad setup for fires on a day like Friday. You really need to know what you're going to be doing in the event of a major bushfire near you, because fires that are already going in Tasmania and Victoria will be completely exacerbated by these sort of conditions. It's a dry change, and we could even see thunderstorms associated with it, which is bad news again for fireys, because it means they have to ground some aircraft too. On Saturday, we will see that cooler air envelop the southeast, making for more favorable conditions to fight fires, but we still do have pockets of elevated fire danger.
A number of fires continue to burn out of control across the central part of Tasmania. Sky News reporter Patrick Murrell is in Vienna, where a fire has already torn through one house.
Well, it's starting to warm up now, but conditions are still much more favourable for fireys in central Tasmania today. It's cooler and it's also rained overnight and early this morning. Firefighters here in Maina are certainly making the most of these more mild conditions. They're starting the process of a backburn to create a buffer zone between the small town and the bushfire burning nearby. At the moment, the Tasmanian Fire Service is clearing scrub near properties so that the burn-off doesn't get too close to built-up areas. They'll then start a controlled fire just west of Maina, which will exhaust the area of fuel, creating a barrier should the bushfires start heading towards town. The fires across central Tasmania have already burned more than 550,000 hectares of land, and the fire front lines are hundreds of kilometres long.
Well, the predictions are we're going to have winds gusting up to 60 kilometres an hour, and the temperatures are going to be rising. We've been lucky the last couple of days, so we've made some really good head ground in putting in some good controlled burns.
The Tasmanian Fire Service is hoping to push back the flames as much as possible today, because tomorrow it will start to heat up and get windy, resulting in some very dangerous conditions right across the state. Patrick Murrell, Sky News in Maina, central Tasmania.